Hey guys, welcome back to the basement workshop and the Blonde Zenith Porthole project. But actually, this is also the launch of, 2-3 years ago I did a couple seasons of Predictapalooza. We're going to do Portholepalooza, Porthole Extravaganza, Porthole Party. We're going to do 3 Porthole sets. So we already know about the Blonde set, did a few videos musing about restuffing the bumblebees, get to that in a moment with what's in my hand. But I also went back to that estate sale and got a second porthole. And I'm going to quickly mention something about that. So I highly recommend you go back and watch the video when I brought it home along with the months if you haven't already. I tested the picture tube and I was very concerned. I thought it had a 16 EP4 metal cone picture tube, which are essentially impossible to replace. But it tested okay, and it was coming back to life, so I breathed a sigh of relief. However, I found out when I was poring over the service info and the parts list to order up parts for it and this set, that it has a 16 GP4, which also metal cone, but it's far more common. And in fact, I have a couple spares that might test better. So we're totally solid on that set in terms of the picture tube. The third one is a porthole set I got like 10 years ago. It has doors on it. I've talked about it a bit in the past. That has an EP4. It's dead. I picked one up at a garage sale also years ago. It tested good before I put it in storage. Hopefully it's still good. If not, I may have to switch it to an all-glass thing. So here's the crazy thing about Zenith. I don't know why exactly, but they used a crazy variety of picture tubes. So at the same time as they were using a 16 EP4, they were using a GP4. At the same time they were using a 12 UP4, they were using a 12 LP4, one metal, one glass. So I don't know why they didn't stick with one. I don't know if it was supply and demand or design changes or whatever. But here's another thing, flybacks. Now both this set and the one I got recently have conventional flybacks mounted on top of the chassis, very similar to the type in our Admiral RCA used. Reliable, simple, straightforward. Now mine that I got a while ago with the doors on it is I think it's the later evolution of it, where the flyback is mounted underneath, horizontally, and encased in something. Actually, not too dissimilar than the ceramic-y, weird, pale gray caps in this set. And they always look horrible, and they crack, and they're very often bad, and replacements are tough to come by. So that set, I suspect, will be the most challenging. But it's also in really good shape because it had doors, and when the doors are closed, it's protecting everything. So it's really all 3 of them are in really nice shape. I'll probably keep one and sell the other 2, just get ahead of myself here. But anyway, so I spent a lot of time talking about restuffing the caps in this set. And then I got it working by replacing a few caps and all that. At least for the time being, this is what I'm going to put in it. I got this tip from somebody on my Patreon account about JB capacitors. This is their JFX line of premium polypropylene metallized foil capacitors. Why did I get them? Well, one, polypropylene is really the best you can get, especially for more demanding applications. The dielectric absorption, dielectric properties are really good. They're better than polyester. They usually cost a bit more. That's what they used in caps like sprig orange drops. Although those are foil, these are metallized film, which is why they're smaller. When you go with real physical film, imagine like aluminum foil and then a sheet of plastic and you roll it up, that's why those orange drops are so big. So these are small. Actually, they're smaller than I thought they'd be. And so I was lamenting about if I wanted to restuff these bumblebees, the caps, I had those yellow ones I have on hand are too fat. These will fit. These are smaller. But they're also black. Some are black on the ends and all around. Some are white on the ends, but the bodies are black. So that leaves me a little bit of a dilemma. One, I could just put these in as is, and they would look fine. No, they don't look like the originals, but they're also not bright yellow. They don't scream at you on a modern capacitor. But I could restuff too. So, and they're not all that expensive. So, Just Radios, highly recommend, because they carry stuff that really nobody else does. Like they have the 6,000 volt axial plastic film caps you typically need for an electrostatic TV, like a Motorola VT71, Admiral 19A11, that kind of thing. And they have carbon comps. I've read that they were no longer made as of a few years ago, but they secured a supply of half watt, 1 watt, 2 watt. So again, if I really wanted to keep this 100% authentic, carbon comps are a little pricey if you just go onto eBay and whatnot, because just like with some bumblebees, people have the audiophiles, whatnot, musicians, they've driven the prices sky high. But at least they're available. I'm not sure who's making them, but they've got them, and it's like a new line they have. So they didn't just like suddenly they stumbled across a stash of old ones, and they guarantee the values are within I think 1% or something like that. So, kudos to them for keeping the supply line alive for obscure parts. So here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm just going to go ahead and install those as is. I'm going to remove all the old caps, hang on to them, maybe experiment when I have free time, and try to pop some open and see, if it's really practical. The other options about 3D printing or making molds, casting new ones and all that, I don't doubt those techniques would work. Interesting to think about. I'm not going to go to those lengths, not on this project. If I was doing a pre-war TV, something crazy rare, crazy valuable, absolutely worth exploring those options. Not for this set, not right now. So let's dive into replacing the cap. So by replacing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 paper caps last time, got it working fairly well. So I'm curious to see, as we replace the rest of them, how much are things going to improve? Let's find out. Oh, also, as this progresses and clear out some other stuff, I'm going to bring that other 16-inch set I got more recently in, and when I clear out even more space, I'll bring out the third and final set. I think it'll be interesting to compare and contrast, because this set is earlier than the others. So I think we're going to see a progression as the design of these Porthole sets evolved.